With his typical cheery, menacing demeanor, Jungkook entered his office and was instantly greeted by his secretary and his closest buddy, Jimmy. Bowden extended his tab. "Sir, your schedule for today. Cancel everything." "Yes, sir." He obeyed without asking any further questions as he is familiar with the consequences. He left the office after getting the permission. "Are you going somewhere?" "Vacations." "Must be some missions, because as far as I know, you never go on vacations. Think whatever helps you sleep at night." "I'll accompany you, since there's something about. No, you will look after my work in my absence. But am I a mafia or your baby girl?" Extremely irritated. Last one देख के sack आ गया. "Alright buddy, go wherever you want. But tell me about your holidays plans." Raised his eyebrow in suspicion. "Adventure." Smirks. Next day in Busan. Getting ready like the most fragile and luxurious decoration piece, she waited for her last hope to fall flat. However, she was still waiting for her hero, or a tragedy that would either ruin this wedding or her. "Minho, when will you come?" Like pearls emerging from a shell, her tears cascaded from her eyes. Someone held the grieving bride's cold hand in a consoling warm grip. "Don't cry, my kid. Please, let's hope for the best." Knelt down in front of wine and wiped away her tears. "Then I hope today, it will be better than marrying him." Continued crying. "Wine," sobs. "Please, don't say such things." Kissed Wine's hands. "I'm so helpless right now." Cried along with her. They both cried on Wine's fate in silence. It was the only thing that they could do because they had tried everything to stop this wedding. But Wine's dad was adamant on his decision of getting Wine married to his corrupt friend's playboy son, after getting to know that Wine likes a guy of his disliking. "Okay, now stop crying. Your father can come any moment to take you to the altar." Wiped her tears, stood up and patted Wine's head gently. "To sacrifice me for his pride." Blankly stared into space. Averted her gaze from Wine because it was difficult to see her in this state. "I'm going out to check on your father." Pegged her on the forehead and walked out. Vine sat still like a lifeless doll, feeling nothing but numbness. She appeared to have accepted her fate. Few minutes later, she stood up from her seat and walked inside the bathroom. She stared in the mirror at her damaged self and smiled bitterly as a single tear escaped from her eyes. She gave it a rough wipe with her trembling hands. Rest in peace. After spending a few moments staring at her void reflection and trying to bear and get used to the chaos of her thoughts, she made her way out. However, when her eyes met with the utterly unfamiliar figure sitting on the sofa as if he had been waiting for her arrival only, her feet got stuck on the spot. Jungkook's POV. What a great friend I am. I left my important work to my friend's happiness. By the way, am I at right place? Or what if I'm late and she has already got married to him? That's alright. Divorce is still an option. I looked around the room trying to kill the time, but when I heard a door open, I diverted my sight to look. I looked at the broken beauty in a white gown in front of me and got lost. Beholding this sight, even angels believed graceful. How could mine not? Given that I'm only a My gaze instinctively checked her up and down, while she stood still on her place without uttering a single word, giving me the privilege to feel blessed that I am in the same room as her, breathing the same air. Do I know you? Her voice, a melody that could enchant the stars, casting a spell that would make nightingales jealous. I have asked you something. Hearing her honey tone growing harsh, I snapped back to the reality. Jeon Jungkook, she is your friend's love, your potential sister-in-law. Be in your limits. I gave myself a mental reprimand and got up, walking briskly in her direction. She gazed at me with her eyes void of any emotion. Let's go. Her brows knitted in perplexity. Do I know you? You don't need to. Stared at her intensely. Who are you? Answer to your prayers. Get out. I will, but not before taking you with me. She opened her mouth, probably to scream, but I drew out from my back pocket, pointed it to her waist, and applied a bit of pressure to push it in a little. She gripped the sides of her gown in her small fists, and her lips parted a little, as she held her breath in, looking adorably terrified. How could Minho let this pure soul marry another man? If I were him, I would have moved mountains just to keep her in front of my eyes. Why? Her voice cracked in fear. Believe me, my sweetie can scream louder than you, talking about him. And the next person who will enter the room will be my next victim. And it will be entirely your fault. Calmly threatened her. What do you want? Shivering in terror. You spoke in a demanding tone. Her eyes swam with tears, and oh, I love and hate it at the same time. Minho. The tears finally escaped, and she whispered, How do you know him? Companion, coldly stated. Did he send you here? A glint of hope filled the emptiness in her eyes. Doesn't matter. Then I'm not coming with you. And what if I say he sent me? Lifted his brow in a challenging manner. Her silence made me smirk in victory, but it vanished as he said, But if you are using Minho's name only, getting brave, aren't we? Poke his cheek with his tongue and put his back in his pocket. I'm cool with that. Go ahead, marry that. Turned around to leave. Listen, hesitantly called him. Here we go. I lifted my brow and tilted my head to look at her. You will really take me to Minho? Looked at him with anticipating eyes. Finally you get it. I thought I was speaking gibberish. I stated sarcastically and stepped towards her, but halted when she spoke again. But how can I believe you? I have never met you before. You look like a typical bad boy, with a bit judgmental, aren't we? You live among strangers, but are still afraid of a friendly stranger like me. Ironic. Scoffed. After acting a little sensitive, I dialed Minho's number and hold it on speaker, as I don't want to scare her anymore. Bro, guess where I am? Where? Asked confusedly. She gazed at the mobile screen with her moist eyes and was ready to speak when I clamped her mouth with my hand. In your heart. Saying this to Minho, I hung up the call. I uncovered her mouth and she instantly spoke. Why didn't you tell him? Surprise. Now let's go. I grabbed her wrist to drag her along, but she did not move from her spot. I frustratingly faced her and spoke. Are you waiting for your dad? But he's coming. Please go. We turned our heads to face the owner of the voice. Aunt, whispered in a scared tone. Why don't waste time, just go. Hurley spoke in a desperate tone. Got your permission? Saying this, I just dragged her out from the back door with me, without paying heed to anything around me.